Hello, and thank you so much for dropping by this video. I'm very excited to be sharing a miraculous healing I had. Um, in 2000, let's see, 2010, give or take. It was maybe it was 2009, maybe 2011. I went traveling and I had this idea that I wanted to be able to have hot tea wherever I was. At the time, I was really into herbal teas. So I got this device that you plug into the wall, and it had these metal rods that got really hot, and you put them in your tea water or your water, and it just within seconds it would heat it to very hot. And I thought, oh, this is great. And it was so small. It was literally like this big. I was like, oh, so portable. I can have tea wherever there's an electric outlet. I was kind of visioning having tea in my hotel room. And so the first time I used it, um, I accidentally touched it to my thumb. At once it was like red hot, like these metal rods got red hot, and I touched it to my thumb. Ow! And it hurt for a second, but then it didn't. But I had this, mark on my thumb, and but I was okay. I wasn't. Nothing serious happened. But the next time I saw the doctor, I showed it to him, and he said, "Well, that's what we used to call a second-degree burn." He and the it just stayed red. So I just asked him. I said, "What's going on with it?" And he said, "Well, in essence, you've burnt off the top layer of the skin, and you've destroyed um, the part of the skin that grows back. So you'll just have it for the rest of your life." And I said, "Okay." I mean, it's not a big deal. It was not even a quarter of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch long. Teeny tiny, but just this red spot on my thumb. And so um, So I lived. It didn't really impact my life much, but I just had it, and it was like, okay, I that was really silly what I did, and luckily I didn't really hurt myself seriously, and I'm gonna have a little red spot for the rest of my life. Well, fast forward, I think it was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years later, I found out about this practice and some ideas around self healing and taking in healing energy. And I had some very serious health problems. My thumb was not one of them that I was really seeking help with. So I went and I learned about it, and I started going to these group meetings where people would get together and receive healing energy. I was I didn't know what to think. I was open minded, but it sounded too good to be true that energy could actually heal things. But I was open minded. And in the middle of one of those meetings, I was just sitting there meditating, and this is the hand. It just started, my finger started, let's see, I'll put it like this. My finger just started rubbing my thumb. It was like the finger was doing it on its own. I was just sitting there meditating, and my finger just starts going like this. And I just look at it. It's like I'm watching someone or something else, really, something else, move my finger. And then I stop and I move my finger back, and I'm shocked because that's where the red spot used to be, except now it was light red. I didn't know what was going on. But over the next week, maybe week and a half, I watched it turn light red to dark pink to light pink to kind of pale to kind of like a splotchy color. Uh, I think no, before pale it turned whitish and then pale and then kind of splotchy and then it completely grew back, including my fingerprint that had been burnt off. The top layer of the skin had been burnt off. It completely grew back. And it was the first healing I experienced on this path, and it was the first of many. Um, so the person this guy, Bruno Gröning, that's whose ideas I put into practice with this healing. He said, nothing is incurable, nothing is impossible. And I experienced it in my own body, on my thumb, that there is this energy or force or power which truly can um, do what's beyond the laws of physics, beyond the laws of chemistry, um, beyond the laws of biology. There is a higher law, which he said is divine law. He said, and actually, that there's only one law. And what I've come to realize is these things we call scientific laws aren't actually laws. They rest on a higher law that, and this higher law can bend what we as human beings think of as laws. I experienced it in my own body. If you'd like more information, you can click on the link below this video. And thank you so much for your time and attention. Take care. Much love. And I wish you many miracles and healings. And I invite you to sit with the question. There's some, and we all might have a different word for it, but some way, somehow, some power, something made this universe, which is vaster than vast. Is it possible that that power, that force, which made all of this, which we're just beginning to fathom how big this creation is? Actually, physicists are starting to think that our universe is just one of many universes, which is, talk about blowing your mind. But is that power, is that force accessible to us as human beings? And does it have our best interest at heart? And is available to help us, even to heal us? I used to think no. I used to be a devout, I call myself a devout agnostic. But now I'm utterly convinced, because this thumb was just the first of many healings, that there absolutely is a force for good at work in our lives and available to help and heal. Thank you so much. Take care.